The North and South Pole play a critical part in determining the Earth's climate. Scientists from across the world are studying the polar regions to scrutinize any changes and their potential effect on our future. In the next 18 months, Earth's high-latitude regions are also high on the agenda as another International Polar Year begun on March the 1st, 2007. Our planet's climate gets its heat from the sun mostly in the tropical and subtropical latitudes. This is partly balanced out by heat radiated back into space in the polar regions. For this to work, the energy must be transported from lower latitudes to higher latitudes either by the atmosphere or by ocean currents. This system of heat transportation is one of the main drivers of regional climate and of our weather. The reflective nature of snow and ice plays an important part in regulating this system.
The importance for the radiation budget is called the ice albedo feedback, which means if the surface is white, it reflects most of the solar radiation entering the Earth. And if the ice disappears, then the dark surface, either on land below the snow or on the water, the dark ocean water appears at the surface, and this will absorb more solar radiation, will heat more and will melt even more ice. So this is a positive accelerating mechanism.
This ice melt clearly has an influence on the ocean's function as a system to transport heat, as this depends on variations in sea surface temperature, differences in levels of salinity, and marine currents, both warm and cool. This system is seen as the heart of a system of climate regulation. The melting of the polar ice caps would mean that this system's equilibrium is forced out of balance. It's through the study of the ice caps that a key mechanism of global change is being revealed. While an accurate measurement of an area of polar ice is relatively easy to achieve, measurements of thickness are much more difficult to determine. The European Space Agency has launched several satellites such as ERS, ENVISAT and METOP that cover the polar regions at up to 14 passes a day. Their instruments supply important data about the polar surfaces, but only limited information about what's underneath them. ESA plans to answer this need with the launch in 2009 of the Cryosat-2 satellite, which will be dedicated to the study of polar ice sheets. Thanks to a specially developed radar altimeter, Cryosat will be able to measure the volume of the ice above sea level. This information, combined with measurements taken on the ground, such as ice core drilling, will make it possible to create a 3D image of the ice thickness and, more importantly, determine any changes over a 3-year time span. The Alfred Wegener Institute in Bremerhaven in Germany is one of the many institutions involved in collecting the ground measurements for the Cryosat-2 mission. One way it does this is with its electromagnetic bird. Known as the EMB, this is a small torpedo-like object towed over the ice by a helicopter. Using a laser altimeter, the EMB measures the height of the ice. Then, using magnetic induction coils, it compares the density of the ice with the surrounding seawater, allowing it to determine the bottom of the ice body and therefore calculate its thickness. These area and volumetric measurements can then be combined with the thickness measurements to create predictive models of the ice caps and their effect on our climate.
This model gives us the ice conditions during this century, and what we can see is that until 2080 there will be no more ice in summer in the Arctic. That still means that there is ice in winter, so the ice will not disappear at all, but in summer times there will be an ice-free ocean.
While this may have the advantage of opening up new sea routes by the end of the century, what does it mean for our climate as a whole, and can we do anything to reverse the trend?
And maybe it's too late to do something because the air is already overloaded with carbon dioxide and so. But of course we know what to do, what we would have to do, but this is beyond my responsibility. But I would say that people are not willing to do things to fight climate change, but they want to keep on driving their cars and wasting energy.
Nevertheless, mitigating climate change remains high on the political agenda, and 2007 provides a forum for both global discussion and further study on the polar regions. That discussion will no doubt play an important role in the next report by the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, whose experts meet in Brussels in the first week of April 2007. Their report will assess our planet's vulnerability to climate change and its consequences for ecology, economy, and human health. Consequences that satellite data can bring to light even in the most inaccessible regions of the Earth.